Hi, I'm Erin Palmer, Team Rayceen Productions co-host and moderator.
And I'm Kaecy, Team Rayceen Productions co-host and moderator.
Joining us is Steven Kabuye. Hi, Steven.
Hi, thanks for inviting me.
Welcome, Steven. So, before we talk about your activism and your organization, please tell the viewers a little about your background and who you are.
Okay, my name is Steven Kabuye, and I'm an executive director, stroke co-founder of Colored Voices Media Foundation. I was born and raised in Kampala, Uganda. I've worked in a lot of jobs. I've worked on a lot of jobs. I worked after my studies. I worked in a small paint store downtown Kampala. I moved there. I moved from there and then worked as a shoe seller downtown Kampala. That's where I moved. Then I started my activism of fighting for equal rights, mainly for the LGBTQI plus. And I've accomplished some few things. I've managed to start up an NGO that can help out with fighting for equal rights and then making sure we shape a very nice future for the LGBTQI plus Ugandans so far. And I'm single. I don't have kids. I don't have pets. I currently live in Nairobi, Kenya. My hobbies are I enjoy playing video games. I enjoy participating in political forums. Then I'm passionate about equality, gender diversity, and democracy. I think that's for all right now.
Thank you, Steven. It's nice to hear about your background. Can you tell our viewers a little bit about your organization, including how it started?
Our organization is Colored Voices Media Foundation. We started it back in 2021. That was the second wave of COVID-19 in Uganda. It was the second lockdown. We were three of us, whereby two of my friends, life became tougher during that second lockdown, and they reached out to organizations that were dealing with LGBTQI plus Ugandans by then, but they weren't helped out. So when they came to me to explain to me what had really happened, I felt like we should at least move forward to start something that could help many out there that can't help themselves. So we started Colored. By then we used to call it Colored Voices. That's Truth to LGBTQ, where it was aimed to use social media and other media platforms to open up eyes to what's really happening in the queer community in Uganda, or what are really queer Ugandans. Later, we renamed it Colored Voices Media Foundation. That is when we seek to register it. And we even moved from only using social media to open eyes on what's really happening in the queer community, to also fighting for equal rights for the queer Ugandans, helping out queer Ugandans, especially the youth, to shape out their future, and also making sure we fight all we we reduce the spread of HIV/AIDS in the LGBTQI plus community in Uganda.
Fantastic. It sounds like you're doing a lot of great work, and congratulations on that. Can you also just expand on what your plans are for using fashion to create opportunities for community members?
Okay, right. We are not going to use only fashion to make sure we shape out the future of queer Ugandans, but right now we've emphasized on fashion because it's the cheaper one to go to, and also it's the easier one to help out Ugandans, especially in this situation where right now we have the Anti-Homosexuality Act 2023, where if someone is not allowed to employ an LGBTQI plus Ugandan unless is willing to go to jail for some few years. So we want to use fashion, especially tailoring. We have a slogan of let's tailor our way to the future. We want to use it to start jobs, equip queer Ugandans, especially those that have lost jobs, those that are looking for jobs right now, those that are facing discrimination and evictions, to teach them how to make clothing, and at the same time earn, because we believe a future where you can kneel down to someone because you're in need of help is a future that can help us a lot in fighting for equal rights. And even it can also help us to show the government that we are really productive. We are not only monsters, as you term us. We can be really productive to the community, and also on the other end, to also make sure innovativeness and creativity can be emphasized in the community right now.
Steven, please share your plans for creating a healthcare app and how this is related to the recently passed anti-LGBTQ legislation in Uganda.
Okay, in the Anti-Homosexuality Act 2023, there is an article where someone is not supposed to abide homosexuality, and if he does, is eligible for imprisonment. And this has created a lot of stigma and fear to the LGBTQI plus community. Everyone knows it exactly according to numbers that the LGBTQI plus community has 30% on the number of the HIV plus victims in Uganda. And we've faced a lot of backlash. I myself have engaged with a lot of medical workers online that actually don't hide their homophobia. So most of the people in the community are in fear of visiting hospitals because they fear these doctors will, in one way or the other, give them out to the law enforcers that they are gay. So we started developing a Q Health app. This app is going to help out with people in the community to look for doctors that are allied with the community, doctors that are not homophobic, medical workers that are okay with you being who you are, so that they can access good and quality health care.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Can you also tell us about your efforts to prevent HIV/AIDS? As you mentioned that amongst the communities, about 30%.
Yeah, we are running campaigns via our social media platforms. We used to do them in person back then before everything turned out not great. Turned out not great after the passing of the act. We are running campaigns to make sure we emphasize and we teach people from the community, even those out of the community, to not have unsafe sex. Either use a condom. If it comes to gay men, make sure you use lubricants. If you fail to use a condom, or test your partner before you go for sex, make sure you take PrEP. And for those that are sick, we are encouraging them to make sure they take their medication in time, because we all know that if you emphasize taking medication, you have a higher chance of not spreading the virus after some time, even if you have unprotected sex with someone who doesn't have the virus. So we are running campaigns. We are hosting Twitter spaces, and we are teaching, especially the youth in the community, how to make sure they prevent themselves from getting HIV or AIDS. And those that have it, we are making sure they access medical facilities. Those that are not homophobic, we are making sure they get their medicine in time. We've partnered with different healthcare, different medical centers and different doctors and medical workers that are allied to the community, that are okay with someone being who he is, to make sure they teach and give out counseling to most of the youth that reach out to us.
Steven, how does it feel to be able to help members of your community?
It feels great that at least we can help out to people that are out there and are living in denial, are living in discrimination. Like we recently helped out Morris. I'll not say the second name because of his safety. Morris is 18 years old. He was chased away. He was expelled from school for being found with love letters from boys, yet he's also a boy. When he reached home, the parents are Christians. They didn't listen to him. They chased him away from home. Morris spent a month sleeping on streets in a market until, in one way or the other, one person found him and they contacted me. And we found a way to help Morris get a house, and we bought him belongings that he can start with in that house. I think when you help others, you're helping not only them, but you also helping yourself. When you spread love, I teach one thing. For me, I teach one thing. In the middle, amidst the storm and the thunder, amidst in all troubles, love is always the answer. If you opt out for hate, you're not going to gain anything productive. You're only going to spoil your soul with more hate. But when you spread love, when you teach love, when you help out one another, you go through all these dilemmas quick and swift. For me, I believe that if we emphasize with spreading, if the world emphasized on love, we wouldn't be having such draconian laws roaming around the world. We wouldn't be having a lot of Ugandan LGBTQ plus refugees in camps dying of arson and mob justice in refugee camps around Kenya and Tanzania. we wouldn't be having people fleeing their countries, like how we fled our country to go to nearby countries for safety. We wouldn't be having wars that are roaming around the world, because how could you attack your neighbor when you really love him or her? I think love is the answer to everything that is really happening around the world. Everything bad that is happening around the world, love is the answer.
Thank you so much, Steven. Please tell our viewers how they can learn more about you, your organization, and how they can support your work.
Oh, okay. You can learn more about our work. I have a LinkedIn, Steven Kabuye 5. Or you can email me directly on my Gmail account. That is stevenkabuye1998@gmail.com. Right now, we are developing a website for the organization. I hope it will be done in a week's time. And you can also follow me on Twitter. That is Steve Kabuye 5. Yeah, it has my profile pic on it. I know a lot of people have opened up accounts in my name, but mine has a profile pic of me on it. And you can also follow me on Instagram. That is also Steven Kabuye 5. Linktree, it is Steven Kabuye 5. You can also follow Colored Media Voices Foundation on Twitter. That is Truth LGBTQ. You can also follow us on Instagram. That is Truth LGBTQ. You can also follow our YouTube channel. That is Colored Media Voices Foundation.
Viewers, links are in the description below. And thank you, Steven, so much for joining us today and sharing information about your work and all that you do. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me too. I'm really grateful.
Us too. To those watching, please follow Team Rayceen on social media and subscribe to the Team Rayceen YouTube channel.
And viewers, thank you ever so much for watching.